All right, beautiful people. I'm very, very excited about today, about our guest, about you, about the contributions, about what's going to be shared in this space. But before we just start out, we're obviously going to have somebody bring us out on the field on this beautiful morning. I want to ask everybody a question. I would like your permission. I'd like your permission if we can all just go a little bit deeper and a little bit further today. Is that okay with everybody? Sure. Give me a reaction. Give me a thumbs up. Give me an emoji. As long as I have permission from you guys, we're going to dive right in. I believe in full stream of consciousness. I want to make sure that this impacts you in a way that it doesn't just spark some feelings, some thoughts and ideas. I want this to spark some action in each and every one of you guys. I want you to go out in your day and be like, I love what they said. I love what Maria shared. And you know what? These are things that I could put into my life right away, that if I do this and I compound these techniques over time, it will truly, truly change my life. And we're going to talk about that deeply today. So I want that permission to go a little bit further with you guys. And so I appreciate you being here. Before we get started, before I share my opening notes and then turn the mic over to Maria, I wanted to turn it over to Daniela. Her and I had a really profound conversation this morning in DMs, and I wanted to turn it over to Daniela to have her officially bring the team out on the field on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning. So without further ado, I'm turning it over to Daniela. Daniela, I know that you're in the car, so thank you for just pulling over and taking the team out on the field. So let me turn it over to Daniela Lopez, AKA the Marketing Babe. Let's hear from you.
Hey, everybody. Good morning. Maria, thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Elias and Kenny. You guys are so committed to us. And I'm glad that we're here, also committed to each other. Maria, in this group, we're going to find some like seasoned agents, new agents, and some of us even misfits, I would say. But everybody with so much hustle and so much heart, just committed to one another and truly to ourselves. I hope that today we're all open to what Maria is going to pour into us. And like Elias said, like, not only walk away with the motivation from what we're going to hear, but truly with the discipline to apply it to our lives. And I know it sounds cliche, but truly like one little thing that we can make different today is going to make that 1% of a difference. And I think it's going to make a huge impact. So I'm excited that we're all in here today. And Maria, thank you so much. And let's get it.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. What was the thing I told you? Yeah, no, you don't have to show. You don't have to show.
Elias was like, don't fuck it up. And I said, when you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. So
that's right. I love it. I love it. I appreciate you, sending you love and light. So I want to share some thoughts with you guys. As you know, I read all the time, and I read not only for myself, selfishly, obviously I want to grow my knowledge base, but I want to be able to find ideas and thought-provoking, topics to bring to you guys, because we do this 3 times a week, and that's a lot of preparation. I don't want to have writer's block, right? So I read a lot, and I went back to The Power of One More, and I want to share a couple questions with you, and it's going to be in alignment with what Maria is going to talk about today. So first things first, is there one more thing that I can do to carve out more time to be mindful and intentional? And here's what I want you guys to do is I want you to think about that. And I want you to look at your calendar with the chaos, with the appointments, with the driving, with the school, with the food, with the family, every single thing that we have going on in your life. When is your time for stillness? When is your time to really think and be intentional about what you want to create in your life? When does that happen? If all the other things are so important in your life and your business and your appointments, and I'm running ragged from morning to the evening, when is your time to be mindful and intentional? And maybe after this call, that's something that you block into your calendar every single week. So I want to share that with you. A couple more things. What's one more way that I can practice gratitude today? Who's a person that probably needs a call from me today? Just to say, Donald, my brother, I wanted to tell you that I'm grateful for you and thank you for doing this 75-day hard for me, because this shit's hard. You're pushing me. I appreciate you. What's one more thing that you can show more gratitude to another person today? One more thing. What's one more way that I can get excited about the future? Well, what I can do is I can stop worrying. I can stop thinking so much, and I can start getting alignment with who I am as a person and as a human being. This is a really, really important conversation, and I'm moved by this because if you've spent any amount of time with me, you guys know that mental conditioning is a huge part of my life, and it has been for the last 12 years, but it wasn't before that. I had to make a change. I remember reading a book that was written in 1960 by Maxwell Maltz. And if you don't know this book, I highly recommend that you pick up this book. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics. It's one of the books that in my life that truly, truly changed the course of my thinking. And I want to share something with you before I turn the mic over to Maria. The subconscious mechanism needs a clear-cut target to work on. Those goals are filtered through self-image, and if it's inconsistent, we are rejected and modified. After your self-image, excuse me, if you alter your self-image, you remove conflict with your goals. Okay, I want to share that with you because this is really powerful. Alter your self-image and you remove the conflict with your goals. This is why this conversation is so important. When somebody told me to reach out to Maria, it was Joe Ellen, and give huge props out to Joe Ellen. She said, I saw this lady speak. She was dynamic. It was powerful. And I think that she would offer tremendous value to our group. So I just reached out to her. We didn't know each other, but now we know each other. And I'm really glad that she's here. This is her specialty, manifesting things that we want in our life, being able to turn motivation into actionable items that you can really, really reshape the way your life looks and feels. She doesn't come from a silver spoon. She comes from struggles, and she's here to share with us what she has done to help many, many people really, really tap into manifestation and shape their lives. So Maria, I am very excited that you're here. You are a coach, you're a national speaker, you specialize in the area of wellness. And so the microphone is yours, this platform is yours, full stream of consciousness. You are gonna love these human beings and who they are and their energy. So without further ado, Maria Concha, I'd like to turn the mic over to you.
Thank you so much, Elias. And first off, just thank you for having me on Keep It Moving Group Coaching. I'm loving everything you guys are talking about already. So here's what I want to do. If it's okay with you, would love to share my screen. I have some slides that I kind of want to walk you guys through. And this could be very interactive. So if at any point you have a question, a comment, you can just put it in the chat, and I'll do my best to look at it in real time. All right, so let's see here. Okay, if anyone can just let me know if you can give me a thumbs up if you can see. Awesome, thank you. All right, so let's bring this here. Okay, so I spoke, as Elias said, I spoke to Elias, we just met, and we were talking about what could this talk be about, right? And so the first thing that we were talking about was like clarity, right? Getting real true clarity on your goals. And we talked about, like, everyone wants to set these goals at the end of the year. And it's like, why wait till the end of the year? And like, why does it have to be about January in this new year? We can start now. Our new year could be right now. And this is what I decided, what came through me during meditation is, I want to show you how to prioritize your dreams instead of your fears, like your life depends on it. All right. Okay. So for those who don't know who I am, I'm Maria Concha. I'm a mindset coach, motivational speaker, and founder of Manifesting Ninja, a wellness community and brand that empowers people to break through limiting beliefs and manifest massive self-belief, confidence, and joy. Let me get a little heck yes in the comments if you would like to manifest more of that, more self-belief, more confidence, and joy in your life. Let's see. Okay, yeah, awesome. Okay, great. Right? Who wouldn't? All right, so I'm a multi-passionate person and entrepreneur. I am fascinated by human potential, personal branding, passive income, and freedom. Freedom to be, do, have, and manifest anything that I desire. So I can do the things that I want to do in this earth and share and grow, right? I've helped launch and grow multiple brands, from the hospitality industry to the beauty industry to real estate to the digital marketing space. I just am very intrigued by so many different things, and it's what's kept me going. I lead with my heart and only say yes to what feels right in my gut and no to what doesn't. That didn't happen overnight, but it's led me to where I am today. So my just energy is very much about saying no to what doesn't align with my goals, non-negotiable, and saying yes to the things that do. And we'll talk about that. But it wasn't always like this. Okay. Even though I before getting on this path, even though I wasn't sure what the future held for me, I always knew one thing. I knew for sure that I was here for a big reason, and it was my job to figure out how to make it happen despite the challenges. So I was born and raised in Queens, New York, and I grew up with a single mom on welfare. My dad was in and out of jail. I barely knew him. And I was on my own at 16. It was just safer and healthier that way for me. And I had about over 20 jobs before the age of 23. So I was no stranger to hustle. And so, but even though I was hustling, truth is I was barely making ends meet. I was barely making it. And so most of my 20s, I was unhappy, unhealthy, and I was broke. Struggle City was my norm. My life just looked very different from what it is today. And so it wasn't until about, I would say, a little over 11 years ago now that I made a decision. And the decision was a simple one to say, which was, I'm done struggling. But it led me to a lifelong journey. And that's what I've been on today. And so I decided, what can I do? Even though I'm broke, I was broke at the time. What can I do that can get me on this path that can completely shift my life and my world, right? And the only thing that I had that I could work with for free was my brain. It was my mindset. No one can take that away from me. And so I said to myself, when I started to really do the work and understand the capability of our brains and just us as a whole, I knew that one, I would never go broke again once I mastered this. And two, I would always do the best I could to be in purpose and on this mission that I am here to be on. And so I am relentless about my pursuits. That's just how I'm wired. You know what? That's actually just a story I told myself until I believed it. So we're always being brainwashed at a young age, right? Whether you know it or not. You're listening to something, the news, your parents. When we were younger, we didn't have a choice. You know, we listened to our teachers. It's what we were told to do. Look to someone else for validation, for the answers, for a map. And so we're always being brainwashed. And so when I got old enough to make decisions for myself, I said, I am going to brainwash myself into really wiring my belief system to believe in myself and what is possible for me. And so that leads us to today, right? So today we're going to learn how to prioritize your dreams instead of your fears, like your life depend on it. So, all right, so let's just identify if you're prioritizing your fears over your dreams, because some of you may be like, nah, girl, I am not prioritizing my fears. All right, let's talk about it. All right, so a couple of things that you need to look at. You find reasons and excuses to not show up on the level that your goals demand. Maybe they look a little something like this. I don't have enough time in the day. There's not enough money for lead gen. I'm exhausted and burnt out. The list goes on. And let me tell you something, you could probably justify the heck out of all of them, right? But this is right here, what I'm talking about, all of this, I bet you we can like workshop it. And you guys can put it in the comments at any point. If there's a real like thing that you are struggling with or that you feel is justifiable, put it in the comments. Let's workshop it. All right. Second thing, you overthink and procrastinate. That's self-sabotage, which is driven by fear, overthinking and procrastination. Third thing, you keep changing lanes before actually giving one lane a real chance. Right. So like, for example, let's say I'm not in the real estate industry. However, my partner is, and I dabble in investments and whatnot. So I know a little bit. You guys probably know way more, but I can just imagine like lead gen, right? You probably do different types of lead gen, but I don't know if you're staying in one lane long enough to even give it a chance. Like it's not going to happen overnight. And so, right, this is you prioritizing fear. And we'll talk about that. You keep adding other important stuff to your calendar and to-do list. And I know most of you probably have families and a household and dogs and puppies and, birthdays and all these things on your list. They're all valid. But I think sometimes maybe we lean on that a little too much as to why we can't do certain things. And the reason why I don't cut anyone slack for that is because your goals and your big vision is non-negotiable because of your family. Right? And so that's why you have to work even harder to just make sure you show up on that level. Right? And then the fifth thing is you don't even start. You talk yourself out of it before you even begin. And so these are a couple of things just to give you an idea for you to identify if you are prioritizing your fears over your dreams. All right. So I want to talk to you about the 5 mindset keys that we could tap into in order to prioritize your dreams and start seeing quantum leaps. I'm all about collapsing time because it took me longer than I really like to admit to get to where I am today. Once I realized how I could collapse time, it was a game changer. So, all right. So the 5 mindset keys. First one is clarity. The second one is possibility list. The third one is embodiment. The fourth one is the 1-step rule. And the fifth one is urgency. All right, let's get to it. So clarity. So getting clear on what you actually want to accomplish and see manifest in your life. Let's just start straight up with just getting clarity. A lot of people do not have the true clarity and feel stuck or stagnant because of 2 things. One, fear of not getting what they want. So you don't even bother choosing the juicier goal or vision. You kind of just choose the mediocre one, the one that you're like, okay, I guess I could do that. But that's not the one that's going to excite you. That's probably not the one, or even scare you a little. Scare you is a little, for me, when a goal scares me, I'm like, yep, that one is for me. That's the one I got to show up for, right? I'm up for the challenge because I want to grow on a level that I probably don't see too many people, but I'm up for the challenge, right? So fear of not getting it is why you probably won't choose the one that excites you. You won't choose, you'll feel stuck and stagnant. Second is feeling unworthy of it, right? So when you feel unworthy of something, this clouds your level of confidence and believability about what is possible for you. So those are the 2 reasons why people won't really pick the goals that they truly desire to see manifest. And so they go to work on the ones that are not as exciting, that are not truly the core ones that they want to work at, which is most likely why they don't show up as they should on the level, because those aren't even the goals that they wanted. Most of the time, you're being influenced by outside influences of what success should look like for you. So you're picking the goals based on someone else's idea of success. But true clarity is all about you, meaning what you desire, and so gaining that very clear sense of self and awareness about what is it that you want for yourself, your vision, your family. Why do you even do what you do in the first place? All right. So you get that clarity. But here's the thing. For me, in the beginning, I was picking goals based off what someone else told me I should do, measuring it off of someone else's success. And so I created my own version of identifying how to gain true clarity of my goal. All right. So a couple of questions you can ask yourself
Hold on really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Freddie Figueroa, can you mute yourself? Okay, there he goes. Sorry, back to you.
Thanks, Freddie. All right. So here's a couple of questions you can ask yourself if you want to discern whether or not the goals that you have set for yourself are truly yours and what you desire, or you just want to pick new goals, right? So what would feel so in purpose if it manifested? Yeah, think about your goals as you being in purpose. What would feel really in purpose and in alignment with you if it actually happened? What would be so much fun to manifest next year or this year? And why? We can operate from a space of fun and generate, great amount of money and make such a big impact and reach so many with fun. right? So what would be so much fun to manifest, and why? What would make you smile for a whole day if it happened? Like straight up, like for me, I remember thinking, when the pandemic first hit, I was thinking, I was doing this as this exercise. I was picking new goals. And I remember reaching out to Raquel, Elias, you know, Raquel, you and I know Raquel Connett, and she's my homegirl. And I remember reaching out to her, and we were like, and I thought, hey, do you want to do a luxury women's retreat on a beautiful island? And this was during pandemic, like mid pandemic. But you know what? I'm like, if this happens, I would smile. You know what? Fuck that. I would smile for a whole week. If we can like make this happen, you know, get these women together, mastermind. And so I really like to think outside the box like that. And so who would you celebrate the win with? Who would you celebrate? Like, think about that, right? When you anchor your goals on what and who really matters, you show up for them, rain or shine. If you had a magic genie lamp and one wish towards a goal, what would it be? What would it be? Like knowing like for sure that it's going to happen, right? Because rub the genie lamp, what would it actually be? So what happens if when you invite yourself to operate from this creative space of setting aligned goals for yourself? What would actually happen? All right, so that's clarity. The second one is possibility list. The second key is possibility list. So create an epic possibility list. So the reason I like to lead with this one after you have your clear goals is because before you can talk yourself out of the big juicy goals or vision, I want you to write out all the reasons why it's 100% possible for you. Right? So I have permission to get creative AF. I love to really write out all the reasons why things can happen, because this is you priming your mindset, right? It's you priming your mind to shift out of impossibility mode into possibility mode, retraining your brain to see and seek opportunities, even when they're not right in front of your face. And that's the cool part about our brains, that when we start to retrain them to see the opportunities instead of the obstacles, we will see and filter in the opportunities. Don't believe me? Just try it. Make your focus the opportunities. Make your focus the positive outcomes that can happen for you. And so for the possibility list, this is what I like to do. I want you to think about, and what I like to think about when I create my PL. I like to ask myself these two questions. The first question is, what is my relationship to the things I want in life? How do I view them? So if you have certain goals, like if you have let's say your goal is about money, you want to generate or hit a certain goal, a money goal within your business, within your brand. So if you want more money, but you have an unhealthy relationship with money, perhaps a scarcity mindset, then it will be challenging for you to set higher money goals and manifest them until you upgrade your relationship with money. Your relationship with anything is of the utmost importance, because like any other relationship, if it is not healthy, it will not thrive. And maybe you'll see a little bit of it here and there. And this is where the inconsistency happens, right? Where you're like, oh, 1 month I did really, really well. What happened? And that for me, I'm a conscious manifester. This is what I teach, conscious manifestation, which is you manifesting your desired outcomes consistently, not by chance. We're not default manifestors, which is just you just kind of perhaps taking a chance. It's happening here and there. No, this is conscious manifestation. And so the first question is uncovering your relationships to the things you want in life. You want the yacht, you want the vacations, you want the beach home, you want the consistent X amount of dollar income a month, and then some. You want the investments, you want the opportunities for the investments, you want to meet the right people, you want the right relationships, you want to collaborate. What is your relationship to these things? How do you view them? All right. And so the second question is, what do I believe is possible for myself? So what is your relationship with what you believe is possible for yourself in this world? Do you believe that you are an unlucky person? Do you believe that, money is really hard to come by? Do you believe that, a certain lifestyle is just set, for certain people, like set aside for just specific group of people? What do you believe is possible for yourself? And so if you're like, well, no, I believe in myself, I believe everything is possible, but the gap from where you are now and where you want to be has been really big for a really long time. There are limiting beliefs. That's right in the middle of that is where your limiting beliefs live. So if you're unsure about what your limiting beliefs are, just take a look at the areas in your life that are not thriving, that are not where you want them to be. For example, if you have a belief about money, or if you don't even know if you have beliefs about money, just ask yourself, what do I desire to bring in monthly? And then ask yourself, what do I actually bring in monthly? Right? There's a gap. If there's a big gap and consistently a big gap, right? And you're doing all the do's, right? You're trying your best, you're showing up, you're taking action, you're, networking and doing what you got to do, but there's still a gap. That right there is because there's some beliefs that don't align with the money that you want. And that goes for everything else, relationships, right? That goes for everything else. So what do I believe is possible for myself? So I believe that your life is a direct result of what you believe is possible for yourself, whether consciously or subconsciously. If what you believe does not align with the things that you desire, it will not happen on the level that you want them to happen or at all. Right? So heal your stories around whatever it is you want to see in your life, and you will see it straight up. All right. So the third key is embodiment. So I really, one thing I always start with is showing up today as the person that you want to become. So if I have a goal out there, which I do, I have my goals, right? I surpass my goals and then I have to pick new ones. That's how I work. And so now I ask myself, okay, how is next level me showing up? How is homegirl showing up every single day? Even though I don't have those things and I'm not there and I may not just yet have the resources, right? But I always ask myself, what are the characteristics that I need to embody in order to succeed on the level that I want, right? So show up with the habits, patterns, and action that you need in order to make it happen. And you got to start doing that now. Later on, the only way the future will happen, the only way that will happen is if you start showing up now. So I'm going to use these three examples. So characteristics. So exercising the muscle of discipline, focus, and positivity. I think those three right off the bat are the ones that have really moved the needle for me times 100. And I think that it most likely takes a disciplined, focused, and positive person to close multiple multi-million-dollar deals. And some people like to say, well, I don't really like discipline. I don't like structure. That is a story you're telling yourself. That is a story you're telling yourself. You guys are all creating stories all day long about yourself. You're creating stories about me. As soon as I got on here, people are creating stories. Right now, you guys are creating stories. You're either believing, opting into what I'm saying, creating your version of it. You have an opinion about it. You're always creating stories. Some of these stories are already have been embedded in you since you were younger, right? The belief that I'm just not a structured person. Oh, I'm just this. That's just not the kind of lifestyle. Is it a story that serves you? Whether or not you've been that way or not, does it serve you? Does it serve and align with the goals that you want, that you've been claiming that you want, but haven't quite gotten there just yet, right? So if it doesn't serve you, time to shift the perspective, time to shift the story, time to shift the habits, patterns, and action that you are taking. And so it most likely does take a disciplined, focused, and positive person to get to those goals, the level of goals that I think that if you guys are in here, I'm pretty sure that there's some big goals that, you have in mind, and so I think that starting with embodiment is probably one of the biggest keys for me that has truly impacted me. All right. So ask yourself, who do you have to be So let's say there's a goal, right? Let's say the goal is I want to sell, I don't know, 20 to 30 homes this year, right? I want to list 20 to 30 homes. I want to sell 20, 30 homes. Like, who do you have to be to sell those homes? What kind of person do you have to be? How do you have to show up? Because who you be affects how you show up. How you show up affects the results in your life, AKA what you manifest, right? So ask yourself that instead of going straight to all the things you need to do, right? The to-do list. No, ask yourself, who do you need to be? Because if you don't be the person that does the things, the to-do list, it's not going to get done. So start there. How do you have to show up? And how can you remind yourself of this every single day? For me, real talk, I need to see it like up on a wall, and it doesn't even look pretty. If I show you my office, I have my method where it's right in my face. I treat myself like I'm 5. There's no way I'm missing it, right? Because the thing is, if you let the day-to-day current take you, it will take you wherever it wants to go. And the list will continue to go, grow, because there's always things to be done, right? And so I keep it at the forefront of my mind, of my visual, my eyesight, where I can see it, where I'm reminded of who I need to be. So I am that person that gets the things that I need to get done so I can have the life that I truly desire, the one that I know I'm meant to play on. Right? So how can you remind yourself of this every single day? Figure out ways, put it on your phone, put it on in your wall, put it in your refrigerator, wherever it is that you are subconsciously, always looking at too, so that it could really seep into your mind. Put it on every day. You got to brush your teeth, right? Put it on your freaking mirror, right? In the bathroom, on your fridge. I'm constantly opening that fridge, right? I'm like, okay, put it there. All right. Make it non-negotiable. Don't apologize. And celebrate when it happens, when your goals happen. I'm a big believer in celebrating. All right. The key 4 is the 1-step rule. So I'm not big into rules. I'm a flexible person. And just because I think that life happens, things come up, right? And so for me, in order to set myself up for success, I tend to have this one rule, which is the 1-step rule, which is choose at least one thing to do every day that will move you closer to achieving your goal. It's that simple, right? So it only takes a series of consistent actions for you to gain momentum and see results. I think a lot of the times, and I speak for myself too, when we look at the big picture, it can feel really overwhelming. And I almost feel like we can talk ourselves out of the big goal or the goal, whatever, the goal, because we're looking at the really big picture. And so I like to take it into bite-sized steps. So I'm a big believer in 1 step at a time versus 0 fucking steps, 3 minutes of a workout versus 0 minutes of a workout. Right. And here's the cool part. It's a hack. You know what happens? You get to the workout and you're like, all right, I'm just going to do 3 minutes. And then what happens? You're like 20, 30 minutes later, you're like, oh, this feels so good. Right. It's just to get you to start, to get you to just get there. Right. And even if, look, the truth is there's times where I do the, I'm like, I'm just going to do a couple of minutes of exercise, right? Because I'm just, whatever the case may be. And I am like sticking to my 5 minutes, and that's just the capacity and the bandwidth that I have for that day. But at least I showed up. The quickest way to lose confidence and belief in yourself is by not keeping your word to yourself. Mm-hmm. But the cool part is the quickest way to gain confidence and believe in yourself is by keeping your word to yourself. And it could be by saying, okay, I really want to move my body because it nourishes me, it keeps me healthy, all the great reasons, all the amazing benefits. I'm gonna just do 5 minutes, do 3 minutes. I don't care. Show up, just show up. When you show up for yourself, it does something for you. It imprints that you are the type of person that shows up for yourself, regardless of what is happening around you, that you are flexible. If you're traveling and you're like, well, I can't get to a gym, figure it out. If you're at the airport, do some squats. Stop scrolling on the phone, right? There's so many different ways, and we just have to find creative ways to kind of show up. And so the task is begin by creating a success list. I don't do to-do lists. I do success lists. Make a list of things you can do that align with your goals. These should be actionable steps that you can choose from, and schedule them into your calendar. Because I'm sure that if it's not in your calendar, you're probably gonna not prioritize it. And so this is a big one. This is a huge one. And look, it's simple, but yet we don't do it because it's simple. And we feel like we need the almighty blueprint of how to, make things happen for ourselves, right? But really it's not that difficult. And then the fifth key is urgency. Move with urgency. Right? So in the beginning of this talk, I said I was going to talk to you about how to prioritize your dreams instead of your fears, like your life depends on it. All right, so I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions. How many of you have a set of goals that you want to hit monthly? Let me know. You could raise your hand. You could put it in the chat. Awesome. Okay. How many of you have a set of goals that you want to hit annually? Okay. Why is it so important for you to hit these goals? Let me know in the chat, like, why does it matter? Why do you even do this in the first place? Okay, your family, yep. Keeping yourself accountable, yep, keeping your word, provides motivation. Lifestyle, yep, you refuse to let them down. Family, self, exactly, right? Most likely, they are driven by your why. So how many of you want to be in the same exact place a year from now? Let me know. Who wants to be in the, okay, yeah, exactly. This is why we act like our lives depend on it, because in order to step into this next chapter, you have to have urgency. If you don't, someone else will, especially in your industry. If you don't show up, the next person will. And that listing is no longer yours. Someone else got you. Someone else beat you to it because they had the urgency, because they remembered their why, because they showed up even when they didn't have the listing. So now that you know how to prioritize your dreams instead of your fears, by gaining clarity on your goals, creating a possibility list, embodying future you, using the one-step rule, moving with urgency, it's time to dream big and take consistent action. All right, guys. So now I'm going to open up the floor to some Q&A.
I absolutely love this. If you can, sorry, did you stop sharing?
Oh, I did.
Here's what I want everyone to do right now is I want you to be super, super aware. And I want you to be aware with how you're feeling right now. And for some of you, this is the kind of like the push that you needed because you feel like you're on the right course, right? Like, oh, I needed that. Yep. I'm doing the right things. Like I'm aligned. I'm doing these things. I'm pushing. I'm in the embodiment, right? I'm disciplined. I'm focused. I'm positive about life. I'm stoked, right? For some, it might be impacting you a different way. And maybe this is a wake-up call. And a lot of the things we talk about, you guys, we've talked about some of these things. She just frames it in a way that is super, super clear for everyone to get. So I want you to first off be aware of how you're feeling right now. And I want you to stay there for a moment. And I want you to really, really do some reflection. Why are we having this conversation? Because we've got the new year right around the corner, and it's not about changing the calendar. It's about changing the way that you act. It's about changing the way that you show up. Like I'm already thinking right now, what I'm thinking about is that I work hard on these things within my business, right? And my fiance, her and I don't do the work that I do with my team members. I want to do the same style of work with her. So we are growing at a completely like the same level and embodiment. And I love this. And so I want to open up to 5 people. I want to hear questions, takeaways, or insights from this session. So I would love to get to everybody, but I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Maybe we can get more than 5, but who has a question, a thought, an insight? Otis, is this a new hand or is that an old hand? Was that an insight? Was that a contribution?
It was an old hand from when she asked us to participate.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Maria, is that a new hand? All right, if you guys have your hand up from before, just lower it. That way I don't get confused. Maria, take it away.
Thank you so much, Maria. I so appreciate this. So my question has to do with how do we heal the stories that we've been telling ourselves? So if we have like this negative or poverty or lack mentality around money or success or fear of success even, how do we change that story?
So the first thing that I would do, that I would lead with, is reprogramming the stories and beliefs that you have around the things that you're limited, the limiting beliefs you have, right? So how do you reprogram? I would just straight up do a brain dump of the limiting beliefs that you have. And then what I would do is I would create new affirmations, which are just statements that you wish to embody. And so I would just create affirmations, and the way that I do it is I like to write out my affirmations. I like to record them on my phone, and I listen to my affirmation. I brainwash myself. I listen to them within the first 20 minutes of waking up, because that's when your mind is the most impressionable. And when I first started my journey, that was the way that I reprogrammed so much of my money mindset, the scarcity mindset, lack. And I would listen to them. People ask me the question all the time, how many times a day do I need to listen to them? And I really say as much as you can. So I would listen to them in the morning, during my lunch break at work, and right before I went to bed, because I wanted that to seep into my subconscious. So I would listen to them 3 times a day. And I listened to, in that first year when I started 11 years ago, for 1 year straight, I listened to them every single day. That's how committed I was.
I love this. Maria, we went and saw Eckhart Tolle this last weekend, and I was absolutely like blown away. And the one thing you said, we all come from, some of us more troubled past than others, obviously you guys know my story. Well, he said, where are you at right now? Like, just be conscious of where you are right now in your life, how you feel about yourself, how you woke up this morning, the love that you have for your family. Like, who are you right now, Maria? When you think about the things that have happened in the past, it's a thought, right? It had happened, it had an impact on us, right? But it's a thought. The things that we want to have in our future, that's also a thought. He's like, stay present in who I am right now. How am I feeling in this moment? I can think about all those other things and I can have it choose to take me down, or I can say, how do I feel right now in this moment? And then what am I going to do right now today with the day that I have and the time that I have? How am I going to show up today? Am I going to be a focused, loving, disciplined, full of gratitude type of human being right now in this moment? When I remove thought from all the things that I had happen to me or that will happen to me, it allows me to be super, super present. And it was a profound, profound moment for me. Pick up the book, The Power of Now, and pick up this book, Stillness Speaks. And I promise you, you will learn techniques and tools that can truly, truly give you a whole different perspective on life. So Maria, really great stuff. Who else has a thought, contribution? Question, anybody? Going once?
I just have a contribution in general, just saying, appreciate you, Maria, love and light. I love to give people their roses while they're here. This session was amazing. I appreciate you for all the work that you did, the life that you spoke into us, the tools that you gave us today. It was truly a great session. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
I saw Carmen Hernandez hands up. Carmen, let's go to you. And Jeff, we love you, bro. And thank you for always being a light of the team. Carmen, let's hear from you.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to piggyback on that and just say it. I mean, it's just no coincidence. There's times when I just can't make these meetings, or days where I just feel really compelled to come to them. And this has just been like every other meeting that I totally get a lot from. And yeah, everything that she says just is reaffirming everything that I've been doing in the last few weeks. As some of you guys know, I've relocated to San Diego, which was a huge leap for me, but I know in my heart of hearts that this was a great move for me, and just everything that's happening and a lot of the things that she said just again reaffirms everything that I've been doing. So yeah, just staying consistent with the reprogramming of your mind and brainwashing yourself, because yeah, some of the stuff we weren't told as kids, right? And they didn't teach us all of this stuff. So it's up to us to learn and to share that with others and with our children. So yes, thank you very much, Maria. I really got a lot from it, and you gained a new follower as well. So thank you.
I love this. I absolutely love it. Aaron, Grace, let's go to you and then let's go over to Sakia.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to welcome you, Maria, and say thank you so much for everything that you said today. For me, and maybe a good group of us, like, we know that we have to have these affirmations, that we have to write them down. But really, my takeaway today is going to be to say them and listen to them 3 times a day, because that we have the goal, right? And I think we do need to do a better job at embodying who we want to be and that person. So thank you. For me, those were the takeaways today. Thank you.
God, I love it. I love it. And Sakia, I know that you're driving. Sakia, let's hear from you.
I just want to say, like, my heart racing right now because I'm so nervous. Like, I feel like this is my second time around the universe. When I say that, I mean, I had to retrain my subconscious twice already in my life. I did it for real estate, and I did it when I first had my child. But even this morning, right before this call, I'm in contract right now, and I'm like, well, if it don't go through, I'm not surprised, because everything I had in life, I had to work hard for. But so me saying that, telling myself it's not going to happen, I'm over here jinxing myself, and I got to change my mentality because it's not aligning to what I want in my right now in reality. So I'm doubting myself, like, oh, everything I worked for, it got to be hard. So if this contract don't fall through, oh well. But still, in that same token, that little piece of information makes me get up and go harder. It's that backup plan. So it makes me hustle and go harder. So yeah, thank you. Because I told myself this morning, oh, if the contract don't go through, oh well, that's what I'm going to do. Open houses today and tomorrow, whatever. But I had to stop saying it and say it's going to go through because I work hard and I deserve it. Everything's going to line up because I deserve it. And I got to just keep saying that to myself and knock that other one out. Thank you.
That's right. I absolutely love this. I love this, Kia. Think about this. Maybe you don't have a relationship or a negative relationship with alcohol. Maybe you have, and I have personally. But it's like the person that I am today, none of you have ever seen that person. My son has never seen that person, because what I chose to do is I chose to show up as a different person. I chose to put myself first, and I had never done that before. And I put my dreams, my goals, my aspirations before anything. Think about the people that you know in your life that changed their mentality and what they thought about food. And they have this negative relationship with food and this negative body image. And look at George on our team. He was 404 pounds at one time, right? Like, think about how you had to change your mind in order to shed that weight and the person that you had to become. That person is no longer here, and he's a new person. He's revitalized. So many of us have grown and changed because we chose to act and show up different in life. And so I really appreciate this conversation. Let's go to you, Joe Ellen, and we'll go over to you, Will.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Maria. Thank you for being so open, receiving my messages. I was so blessed to be in the room with you that day in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I am going to manifest to be at your retreat in Costa Rica in 2024, since this one's coming so fast. But I'm just so glad I can reach out to you, and you're just so responsive and helpful. So thank you for blessing us all today.
I love it. I love it. Will.
I just wanted to say thank you very much for your presentation this morning. I mean, I certainly identified with me, and I sent Elias a text during the presentation about how it hit me personally. And I feel like, there's 116 people on this call. I can't talk about my successes and talk about my failures and be any type of leader. I've got to hold myself accountable in all ways. Like, I made a commitment to myself about 6 weeks ago. I knew what I had to be. You asked questions. Who do you have to be where you want to hit your goals? I'm in a notoriously tough real estate market to break into. I'm 230 pounds right now, which is heavy for a 5'9" guy. I know to get under 200 pounds and to be lean and clean and to win these $10, $20 million listings, I've got to be at the best version of myself. And I can't lose weight and be on top of my shit and work the hours I need to if I'm drinking alcohol the way that the old Will used to. And, we had an event in Tahoe on Thursday night. I was in my 6th week. And at the end of the night, I caved a bit and wanted to have you know, I have in the back of my head that I'll have cocktails on special occasions and whatnot. And a lot of people drove up. Me breaking, even in that one moment, I had one good friend of mine hold me accountable on it, and I kicked my ass for it for a couple of days. I didn't go off the rails, but I also, you know, I had to hold myself accountable, and I saw what a great track I was on. I didn't derail, but if I don't be accountable to myself, say thank you to a friend for giving me that word and to help keep me accountable, then I'm not able to stay on course. It's very easy for me to bullshit myself, which is what I wanted to say to you guys. I'm a great salesperson, and I can sell the shit out of myself too. I can be like, oh, it was all good, you know. Hey, we're back in 6 week, you know, just one little derail. No, I'm starting over again. It's like 75 hard in my own brain. You know, and I guess that's part of the evolution. I was never really able to be held accountable before, and really only the fact that I'm putting my goals out, and I am busting my ass to be the best dad that I can be, to be the best friend, to be the best business person I can be. But I can't be that person if I don't tell the truth to the people that show up for me. You know what I mean? And it starts with us. So I just wanted to put it out there that it really meant a lot to me. I sent a text this morning to Elias that actually prompted me to say a thank you to that friend that held me accountable the other day. So, you know, the journey continues, but the reality is I'm not going to be that. I set a lofty goal. It's $100 million production goal that I put out for myself. And I don't say that in any type of bravado or ego. I know that I'm capable of achieving it, especially with the average home price in my market. The reality is I will not do it if I don't continue to hold myself accountable in these coaching sessions and be real with the people that are showing up for me and do the work. So thank you everybody who's on the call, and sorry for throwing that much out there.
It's okay. We appreciate you, man. I appreciate your vulnerability. Conscious manifestation. I absolutely love that you said that, Maria. You know, this is I told you guys we're going to go a little deeper. That's why I asked for permission to go a little bit deeper with you guys today. We all know the things that we want in our life, and then we all know the things that we are not doing in order to get the things that we really, really want in our lives, right? Because by show of hands, how many of us maybe focus is something we need to work on, right? If you had 1% more discipline, right? If you were positive about actually making phone calls, and I get to change someone's life, I get to help a consumer, I get to get an opportunity, I get to have an opportunity to change my family's life because I want to take them to Costa Rica next year, and a $30,000 paycheck would put all my family on this beautiful vacation. So you get to do these things. Embodiment of discipline, focus, and positivity, that was really, really powerful. Look at your life, you guys. Start doing some unpacking. And you guys are in control of everything. I'm here to help and support you guys on the journey to where you're already heading. If you don't like that journey, then change it. And everything lies from within. You guys, Maxwell Maltz taught me this at a young age. I want you guys to pick up that book. I want you guys to read. I want you guys to really, really look at your life and say, am I stoked on this, or do I need to make some changes? And it's up to you guys. My mentor told me, be the one that you dream to be and show up as that person every single day. Like, knowing I have my family here and we're about to drive to Southern California, like, I'm a very, very simple man. Like, I want to make them the happiest that they could ever be. Want to make them the happiest, but I can't do that if I'm not disciplined. Because if I'm not disciplined, what happens to our business? What happens to this company? What happens to our income? I'm never going to let that happen, ever. So Maria, thank you for shining some light, being a mirror for a lot of us to say, hey, we need to open up our minds. So Maria, thank you. I don't know if you can, but if you could share or, you know, share some of the slides with me, I would love it.
Yeah, I'll send you. I got you. I'll send you. Thank you so much for having me. Great tribe. I'm really thankful for the opportunity to just share with you guys a little bit of the goodness.
So hopefully you guys see, I see a ton of videos from you guys today, because I'm sure your mind is working. So Maria, thank you. And as always, you guys, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and go out there and create the life that you truly, truly deserve. So have a wonderful day. Maria, love and light and positive energy to you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate every single one of you for showing up today. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, you guys. Peace.
So much.